there's a curious awareness that stirs in certain souls. A quiet, persistent feeling, one that whispers, "You've been here before." Not in the way déjà vu dances through your thoughts, but in a deeper, almost ancient recognition, as if this life might just be your last. Not in a morbid sense, but a sacred one. A knowing that this chapter isn't just another loop, but perhaps the closing of the entire book. What if reincarnation isn't endless? What if the soul is on a journey with a destination, an ultimate homecoming? Spiritual teacher Edgar Cayce, often called the sleeping prophet, dedicated his life to uncovering these mysteries. In thousands of readings given while in trance, he spoke of reincarnation not as punishment but as purpose, a cycle of learning, of remembering, of returning. And for some, that journey is almost complete. But how would you know if that someone is you? The signs are not loud. They don't shout. They whisper, softly, profoundly. Before we explore these signs, we must understand something deeper. Life isn't just linear. Many spiritual traditions believe that consciousness undergoes multiple births and deaths until it reaches a certain level of awakening. And now, even quantum physics hints at this ancient wisdom. If time isn't linear, if consciousness can transcend the body, then perhaps reincarnation isn't a step-by-step story, but a simultaneous unfolding. Many lifetimes viewed from different angles happening, all at once. Cayce often spoke of this non-linear soul progression. He believed that the soul doesn't simply advance, but eventually steps outside of time entirely. A soul in its final lifetime may not radiate traditional signs of enlightenment, but instead carry something even more powerful. An awareness that this reality isn't all there is. Sign 1. You feel like a stranger in the human experience. Even while fully engaging with life, forming relationships, chasing goals, building your path, there's a quiet part of you that stays detached. Not cold, not numb, just separate. You might laugh, cry, and love like everyone else, but something within you never quite forgets. This is all temporary. You watch yourself living your life as though playing a role you didn't write. And while others chase wealth, fame, or status, you sense these things are simply props on the stage. Necessary within the story, but not part of the truth. Cayce called this sensation cosmic homesickness, a subtle longing for something beyond matter and time. It's not escapism, it's remembrance. You're not running from life. You're just starting to remember what lies beyond it. Some consciousness researchers suggest our sense of self may only be a projection, a single beam of awareness, not our full being. Souls in their final incarnation aren't lost. They're waking up, slowly, gently, to who they really are. And the deeper that awareness grows, the more this world begins to feel like a dream. A vivid one, but still a dream. Sign 2. You experience vivid, frequent déjà vu. Not the fleeting kind others brush off. Your moments of recognition are striking, detailed, emotional, sometimes overwhelming. You just know how something will unfold before it even happens. You walk into places you've never been and feel like you're coming home. You carry knowledge that no one taught you, skills that seem to have arrived with you, insights that defy explanation. Cayce described this as bleed-through, a thinning of the veil between lifetimes. Moments where your soul touches multiple timelines at once. Quantum theory supports this, suggesting that time is not a straight line, but a field of possibility. Your past lives may not be past at all. They're running concurrently, and you're beginning to access them. This isn't fantasy, it's memory. Echoes of lives your soul has already lived. Sign 3, you're no longer afraid of death. You don't seek it, you don't romanticize it, but it doesn't scare you. You understand deeply that death is just another doorway. You feel this not as theory, but as calm knowing. Perhaps you've known it since childhood, or perhaps it came gradually, like a soft light replacing shadow. Cayce said that souls nearing their final lifetime carry subconscious memories of past deaths, not as trauma but as transitions. You might notice that you're able to speak about mortality without discomfort. You accept it, and because of that, you live more freely. When death no longer drives fear, life becomes more present. Sign 4. Synchronicities follow you everywhere. Your life seems to dance with hidden patterns. You think of someone, they call. You ask a question, and the answer appears. You're guided by signs that feel too perfect to be coincidence. This isn't superstition, it's alignment. Cayce described this as co-creative awareness, when the soul begins shaping its reality through thought, intention, and vibration. Modern science calls this the observer effect, the idea that consciousness impacts physical reality. You're not just in the world, you're in conversation with it, and it responds. Each synchronicity is a message, not a reward, but a reminder that you're remembering who you are. Sign 5. Desire begins to dissolve. While others chase validation, approval, or possessions, you feel a sense of inner completion. This isn't detachment, this isn't laziness, it's peace. Your goals arise from inspiration, not from lack. You act with presence, not with pressure. Cayce taught that attachment fuels reincarnation. When desire fades, so does the pull to return, and when that craving disappears, what remains is clarity. You live not from need, but from wholeness. Sign 6. You sense that physical reality isn't the foundation of existence. You begin to notice the illusion, the flicker behind the curtain. You understand that this world is made of energy, filtered by your senses, shaped by your beliefs. Cayce referred to this as veil thinning, the point where reality is revealed as projection, not permanence. Science mirrors this idea through theories of holographic reality or simulated dimensions. You begin to see it, not just imagine it, see it, and in that moment of clarity, everything shifts. Sign 7. You no longer feel confined by identity. You still have a name, a story, a face, but you know that none of it defines you. You are not your job. You are not your trauma. You are not even your personality. You are awareness itself, playing a temporary role. Cayce called this the superconscious state, where the self dissolves into universal being. And as this dual awareness grows, you begin living from both places at once, the story and the source. Sign 8. Your empathy transcends boundaries. You don't just feel for others, you feel with them. You recognize yourself in animals, in plants, in strangers, and loved ones alike. Your compassion isn't forced, it's natural, effortless. Cayce called this cosmic consciousness, the felt experience that all is one. You act ethically not because you should, but because harming anything feels like harming yourself. And from that place, service becomes a joy, not a duty. Sign 9. You begin to spontaneously break free from old patterns. Addictions, fears, toxic cycles. They start dissolving, not through struggle, but through recognition. It's as if the soul has finally learned what it came here to understand. You stop repeating. You start integrating. Cayce called this karmic completion, a soul no longer bound by the past, but liberated by its lessons. You move through life with fluidity. Old triggers lose their power, wounds lose their sting, not because you're perfect, but because you're done. And as these 9 signs converge, something beautiful begins to happen. You don't transform into something new. You simply remember who you've always been. The boundaries between the sacred and the ordinary begin to dissolve. You realize that the journey itself, this very life, is the teaching. So what happens when the soul truly completes its final cycle? Cayce didn't give a simple answer. He said it can't be captured in words. It's not a disappearance. It's an expansion, a return to origin, but carrying with it all the wisdom of the journey. Whether you recognize many of these traits or only feel drawn to the idea, know this: spiritual awakening is not a race. It's not a status. It's not a destination. It's a quiet invitation to be present with whatever is here now. If you are completing your final cycle, you haven't risen above humanity. You've simply stepped deeper into it, more awake, more aware, more alive. So what signs have you noticed in yourself? Let us know in the comments below. And if this spoke to you, subscribe for more explorations of consciousness, spirituality, and human potential. Until next time, may your journey be filled with truth, with love, and with presence, wherever you are in your cycle.